But doing this event, putting on something this massive with so much mental energy and so much creativity has been by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Welcome to the Marvelous Moms Club podcast. Discover yourself, break out of mediocrity, and become the mom you've always aspired to be. Here's your host, Kirsten Tyrell.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. This one's going to be, I hope, just the most simple listening, easy listening episode you've listened to in a super long time. And I know that should be true because I know it's been a long time since you've had a new episode to listen to. We have been working so hard on so many different things, but I've truly missed this community and putting content here on this podcast. I owe so much to this podcast and this community. You as audience listeners, audience like you're sitting in an auditorium. Sometimes I picture you that way though, just so you know. I absolutely picture us all sitting in one big room together, learning, laughing, having fun. I think one of my dream of dreams would be to have like Marvelous Moms Club live. And don't you worry, I've thought about it. I've talked about it. It may happen someday. But I really do love this community. I love the stories we've been able to share. Some of these guests who have been on the show are still some of my nearest and dearest friends, which I think is a huge blessing. And I know that they probably feel like friends to you. I hope I feel like a friend to you. I've had many, many people over the years come up to me and say, you know, different episodes have changed their lives or helped them in their time of need or just been really, really good to listen to in the rut of motherhood. So from the bottom of my heart, I kind of want to apologize for not being here and not being present with you guys and not putting out the content I know I'm capable of creating. But I want this to funnel into what I'm going to tell you guys today. That simplicity is like, how do you even describe it? Simplicity is tricky because right now I'm sitting here with my phone and I have this cute little raspberry microphone that just plugs right into my phone. And I can sit here on my bed where I am in my pajamas with my fuzzy socks on. My kids are playing in a fort upstairs because it was a snow day. Yes, it was a snow day and we had a centimeter of snow. But I can sit here and I can record this episode, and for a long time, it's just felt so complicated because before, when I podcasted, I had a whole setup, and mind you, the first probably 100 episodes happened in my living room, recording in my small 2-bedroom apartment, and so I didn't have a fancy setup, I just had more of a setup. I had a designated space. And what I've learned is that sometimes the simplicity can actually make us avoid things because it's so easy and it's so simple that it just feels like maybe a little overwhelming. And so the unknown, the simplicity of plugging a microphone into my phone, even right now as I sit here, like I'm going to have to stop recording for a second and make sure this is actually working because no way could it really be this easy. Okay, I'm pausing. Okay, wonder of wonder, miracle of miracles. It worked. It works really well. So no more excuses, Kirsten. You can literally podcast from anywhere in the entire world. And I have really upgraded. This is so boring. You guys don't even care, but I'm still going to tell you. I, before, used to have to be with a computer, with a microphone, with a pop filter, all the things to do an episode. And I took it so seriously that I had to be in my setup. There was no alternative. And I've got this really cool app as well where I can interview somebody from anywhere as long as I have my phone. And it's like we're just having a phone conversation. So it's called Ringer and it's awesome. And I've been using it. So if you're a podcaster, check it out. It's so nice. But for those of you guys listening who have no interest in podcasting, I will just tell you that I have no excuses now. So here I am. And I want to talk to you guys more often. And in addition to this, thought I should tell you that I thought about phasing out Marvelous Moms Club to do my own podcast, just the Kirsten Tyrell podcast. And I'm still going to do that podcast, but I don't feel like we need to phase out MMC. We got to have the OG MMC all the time because even though I'm going to talk to a whole variety of people on the other podcast who may not be moms, I still love having conversations with you amazing moms. So let's just keep this going and let's never end this love affair because I feel like this is such an amazing space and I hope that it continues to bless you guys as much as it blesses me. So all of that backstory being said, what have we been up to since I last recorded an episode? I don't even remember the last time I recorded an interview, and there may be bits and pieces of the story, but last summer we decided to up and move to Nashville, Tennessee. And yes, we literally just up and moved. It was a few months in the decision-making process, and we just kind of decided we needed a change of scenery. This is going to sound absurd, but we were bored and we wanted to be challenged. So there's a whole bunch of reasons. There's music here in Nashville. We wanted that to be more part of our culture and just our everyday life. Ask me how many concerts we've been to. I'm not even going to answer because it's embarrassing. What I'm learning in the process is that you can move your whole family across the country, but it still takes effort and decision making to actually immerse yourself in a totally new place. Because when you work from home like we do, when everything happens on the internet, you could literally never leave your house. Do you guys know you can do I'm sure I'm the last to find out. Grocery delivery. Now that I live in a city that has a Whole Foods, I can Amazon Prime my grocery delivery. Like what? There's Instacart. There's lots of great options. But anyway, my point is, I'll talk about that more later on another episode. My point is, I don't ever need to leave the house. So we're still adjusting to this life of having options. There's so much to do, and we've done a lot of cool stuff with the kids. We just haven't immersed ourselves in the music life yet because we're still so busy running a business. And on that note, some cool things that have happened. Many of you guys may not know my story or what's evolved because of Marvelous Moms Club, or just what I owe so much to Marvelous Moms Club for. How many times can I say that fast? Marvelous Moms Club, Marvelous. Okay. So when I started this podcast, it was the only thing I wanted to do. I tried some other things in business. You guys have probably heard me talk about, I still get people asking about our Amazon course because we did e-commerce through Amazon, and we were really successful with that. We helped influencers to sell on Amazon, and we were really successful with that. And then the year that I was going to just take time off and just focus on my family and do some episodes here on the podcast, things just took a turn, and I became the most entrepreneurial that I had ever been. And I signed up to be an artist with Mascara Beauty on day one and instantly grew a team of like 40 people within the first few days. And now we just hit a benchmark of over 5,000 artists on my team, which is super exciting and crazy to think that all started because I started this podcast and started talking to people and making friends. So I want to tell you that you could be living in a little apartment, a big house. You could feel completely isolated and completely alone. And it's just a matter of one foot in front of the other, starting to connect with people. And you just never know. You never know what that can turn into. We have done so many cool things as a result of just building relationships with people, and not with any end game in sight, because we didn't have an end game. We didn't know what we were doing for a while. I just genuinely wanted to learn from everybody that I could and build friendships. And it's really cool. It's turned into something that's very full-time. And because of that, it's really the main reason that I became absent here on the podcast, because it took over my life and it became kind of a culmination of a dream to impact women and help them to be empowered and to do really incredible things. And they are doing incredible things. Some of you guys listening might be on that team or might be, leaders, and you know what I'm talking about. It's been really cool. So the other thing that's been on the docket that we are doing, that you're going to hear some ads here on the next few episodes of the podcast, is the Glow Conference, which is, I don't even know how to summarize the Glow Conference. So because I have such a big team and because I had just moved to Nashville, I thought, what better way to start helping my business build out here in the South and helping my team members expand their reach and getting everybody all in one big room to do a training. And it evolved and evolved and evolved into such a massive thing where I was like, we might as well get Rachel Hollis as our keynote speaker. And I was shocked that she was available because she's like the most in-demand public speaker of our day. And we were able to secure her. And from there, everything just kept falling into place. So now we're at a point where we have basically like 4 keynote speakers. And now all of our team members are inviting friends. Everybody who's obsessed with Rachel Hollis wants to just come hear her speak. We have Nicole Walters, who's been a guest here on the podcast of The Monetized Life. We have Ashley Lemieux from The Shine Project, who maybe you follow on Instagram. We have Michelle Gifford, who's been a guest here on the podcast from The Modern MLM, and I am Michelle Gifford. We have Jenna Rammel, who's been a guest on this podcast. These are all some of the most popular episodes, too. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we will link to them in the show notes if you want to go hear from these fabulous women, because they're so brilliant and so creative and so wonderful. And I think, did I cover them all? We have Savannah Polson, who's also been on my podcast, and she's going to be teaching our artists color matching technique, which is really key in mascara. But if you're doing an MLM, if you're looking for legit business training, I truly believe the reason we've been able to get as far as we have and grow at the rate that we have is because we have been trying to incorporate real business tools into our business. We do really well with communication with our team and providing them resources and tools that don't exist anywhere else. And so I want to teach people how to do that. So if you're interested in coming, it's just too big to not. It's too big to like be snotty about it and not let people come. So you can go to glow2019.com if you're interested. And I know I've had a ton of you guys reach out who have been following me from the start who are like, how do I come to this? And you're doing Rodan and Fields or you're doing Lip Sense. So check it out. So that's the huge thing on the itinerary for 2019. I'm super excited because even though I tease that I can't wait for it to be over so I can get back to life, it has taught me so much about resilience, and I've done so many challenging, hard things since starting this podcast over 3 years ago, and I can't believe from point A to point, I don't even know, what am I at? E? I feel like I'm just getting started, but doing this event, putting on something this massive with so much mental energy and so much creativity has been by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I'm so grateful for it because it's just, I'm feeling the strength and power that comes from conquering a big goal because I know that after this is over, I can approach anything and be like, hey, I put on a conference for over 1,000 people. I can do this. So I think it's going to be phenomenal. That's kind of the update here. My kids are getting older. My kids are getting wiser. We are navigating this new life, these great schools here in Tennessee that are just really into test scores. And I'm trying to figure out how I feel about that as a mom. And starting to entertain the idea of homeschool again in the fall. There, I said it. My husband's like, no, you're not. But I have this dream. I will just put it out there into the universe. I have this dream that come fall of this year, I want to embark on some world travels with the kids. So pray for me. I'm working on preparing for that endeavor. And that means I'm going to have to hustle pretty hard in my business to get things even more systematized and planned out so that we can do that. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for always being here. We have over 300,000 downloads of this episode, or of this podcast, this episode. That would be life-changing. 300,000 plus downloads of this podcast, and I haven't even hardly done anything for 2 years. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this tribe, and I promise to show up for you more, and I can't wait for you guys to hear more interviews that are coming your way throughout the next few weeks, and I promise I'm not going anywhere. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode, and I really hope this whole thing recorded well. Okay, bye. Listen up, girl. Are you a Rachel Hollis fan, and are you currently running a network marketing business of any kind? I want to help you to glow up your business. Yeah, like blow up, but glow up, because we are holding a special event here in Nashville, Tennessee, March 1st and 2nd at Opryland, and it is going to be life-changing. We've brought in the best of the best. Our keynote is Rachel Hollis. She'll be speaking to you live, and we've got the best training to help you not just this year, but every year in your business to have the success that I know you are dreaming of. So many women start businesses like this, and they are the best for those mommies who want to stay at home and earn some passive income, but then they start to realize that it's not quite falling into place they wanted it to, the way that they wanted it to. And I want to give you the tools to help you make it successful, no matter if you want to do this part-time, if you want to grow it into a full-time retirement plan. I think you can do it. I know you can do it, and it's not your products or your company that's holding you back. It's just your lack of tools. So head to the website, marvelousmomsclub.com/glow to get a discount ticket so that you can come hang out with me, Rachel Hollis, and so many more amazing women who are speaking to you live at Glow here in Nashville. I will see you there, marvelousmomsclub.com/glow.